4 days after their first loss of the season against LA, the Crew traveled west to meet San Jose and came away with the draw Wednesday night. Now, just 3 days later, the Crew find themselves in Colorado to take on a hot Rapids team that's trying to extend its 2-game winning streak. It's the Crew and the Rapids coming up next on ONN. You're looking inside Dick's Sporting Goods Park. It's in Commerce City, Colorado, home to the Rapids in sight of tonight's MLS Soccer Saturday matchup, including the Columbus Crew. Hi again, everybody, with Dante Washington. I'm Dwight Burgess. Thanks for joining us for Crew Soccer here on ONN. 8 games into the season, Columbus did not have a loss and 20 points all the way to the top of the Eastern Conference, Dante. But over the last 2 outings, just a single point. And yet, as we take a look at the Ohio Lottery Eastern Conference standings, they're on pace for 60-plus points this season.
Yeah, and obviously they'd love to continue that pace. Past couple of games have been a little rough. For San Jose, they would have been really done themselves well to get the full 3 points, but it's going to be tough tonight in Colorado. It's a team playing with some confidence.
And we take a look then at the Ohio Lottery Western Conference standings. You mentioned Colorado. LA is not only still atop the West, they are already winning in their game tonight. Of course, back in the East, New York is playing as well. So a lot's going to happen this weekend as far as the standings are concerned. Now, we referenced it, not a win in their last 2 starts at Columbus Crew, and probably in San Jose, Dante, the most frustrating part is twice in that match, the black and gold had the lead.
Yeah, when you're on the road, you want to make sure that you take care of that lead. They did a great job starting out, getting that goal in the first 5 minutes, but then a minute later, there's the equalizer. You take the away fans out of the game, but then let them come back in. And like you said, got up again, but then 8 minutes to go, they allow the equalizer. Disappointing at the end of the night.
Robert Varzia will not be on the bench this evening. His daughter Olivia graduated from high school today, but there are going to be plenty of support there for the Columbus Crew. And unlike a lot of sports, Dante, is it that big a deal in soccer to not have the head coach on the bench?
No, they make a lot of decisions together. And one of the things tonight, they'll have the technical director, Brian Blitz, who has some coaching experience behind him to help and assist with the decisions.
The Glidden first 11 for the Columbus Crew. Couple of changes from what we saw midweek.
Yeah, we usually are used to seeing Eric Bruner in the center. He'll be out wide right, Iro stepping in there, and then the usual guys out in the rest of the lineup.
So Columbus looking to go into the World Cup break with a win tonight. Colorado, they've been doing some winning. What a great goal here by Connor Casey.
That's just pure class. Fights off the defender, picks his head up, catches Casey Keller on the near post. Just beautiful.
Well, they are hot. They are looking to extend their winning streak, and here's their Glidden starting lineup.
They got some experience on that team, but you look at Omar Cummings, that's a guy, he can be hot, he can be cold, but when he's hot, he's very, very dangerous.
And they're winning and competing defensively, aren't they, Dante?
They haven't allowed that many goals at all. Second in the league, third is Columbus, but it's a lot difficult when you're playing on the road trying to get those goals.
3rd game in 8 days for the Columbus Crew, 2nd consecutive road contest. They are undefeated away from home. Can they continue that tonight in Colorado? We'll find out on ONN. Back in Commerce City, Colorado. What a beautiful, beautiful part of the country, Dante. Commerce City is outside of downtown Denver, but the mountain range along, it's amazing. Your Ohio Health Injury Report for the Black and Gold. Haydick, O'Rourke, both doing well. In fact, talked with Danny O'Rourke on Wednesday, and he's pretty much good to go. But considering they have a couple of weeks off after tonight for the World Cup break, there's more time to rest.
Well, you know, as players, you always like to think that you're ready. But as you said, they have some time to rest. Do the right thing, get that rest, and then come back full 100% ready to go.
It's a very fine surface here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. How about the altitude? Columbus elected to go in late yesterday from San Jose. The general rule is in and out in around 24 hours, or get there 2-3 days in advance to acclimate.
Yep, exactly right. They chose to stay out in San Jose and hang out there for a couple days and got in there late last night.
We are underway this Saturday night in Colorado. It's the 3rd match for the Crew in 8 days' time. 2nd consecutive road contest, and after tonight, as mentioned a couple of times already, they get a couple of weeks off, although it's not really, they're going to take some days off, but they're also going to play a couple of friendlies in there too.
Yeah, as we saw earlier in the season, anytime you have a weekend off, you try to make sure that you stay somewhat fit, keep the game fitness up, and we'll see that again with this break.
Your take off the air, Dante, was potentially a kind of a lackluster match to watch tonight. Colorado is having success defensively first, finding ways perhaps to get late goals like we saw Connor Casey's chip against Seattle. You still feel strongly about that tonight, that these are two teams who are not necessarily going to force the issue offensively?
Well, I think Colorado, if anything, is going to force it a little bit more. They're a team that in six of their 9 games have been at 1 goal difference. So they're not, and they're also not allowing a goal. Not allowing a lot of goals and not scoring a lot of goals. So expect it to be pretty tight until maybe the end they try to go for the 3 points.
William Hesmer gets his first touch on the ball. It comes in the 2nd minute of play. Comfortable evening. Much hotter is the forecast in Denver tomorrow, but that doesn't really affect the Crew because they're heading out of town. Ball on the near side. Dr. Pepper team kits. Columbus in the canary strip, top to bottom, and red or maroon if you prefer, white in the middle, and the burgundy socks. I'll give you 3 different choices. You get red, you get maroon, you get burgundy. Talked about the weather, 80 degrees, just 38% humidity. They don't, in general, allow humidity in the state of Colorado. It's like it is. It's not a federal thing. That's a local statute, nonetheless. You could see what sunshine remains just on the far corner, attacking half of the park for Columbus in the first half. Man in the middle is Kevin Stott, Nate Clement, Kermit Quisenberry, and Yarder Reyes is the 4th. It's the all-name officiating crew tonight. Scalotto, 3rd game in 8 days, but Guillermo's putting in the minutes.
You like to see it. Even at his older age, still has some gas in the tank.
Steven Lennart got some rest midweek, came off the bench in the 2nd half. Gary started up top. Renteria was wide in the midfield, and you thought he did a pretty good job.
You know, one of the things that they've done very well is they've found a way to get Renteria on the field. He's got some physical abilities. He's got that pace. As we saw against San Jose, he fights through defenders and doesn't give up. And he's done well on the right side. Up top, I didn't think he really did that well. Didn't fit in, but now he's found himself a place on the right side.
Is it fit, ultimately, Dante, that you're looking for? You look at your bench, Robert Varcia tonight, his assistants, Brian Bliss, the technical director. There's not a lack of talent. I mean, in MLS, there aren't guys who aren't good soccer players. Is it really about finding the pieces and meshing them together in the best way?
Well, a lot of times, even if you look at major international players when they come here, it's not that they're not good players, but they just don't fit. Take Herculez Gomez, who was in Colorado as well, was in Kansas City as of late, goes into Mexico, and now he's on the World Cup team. As a coach, that's, you see Colorado's coach right there. It's a tough decision. What do you do? A lot of times guys go somewhere else and they play well.
Well, we've seen it really since the latter stages of 2007, haven't we? The way first Siggy Schmidt and now Robert Varcia, each going about it a little bit differently, putting their own personality stamp, if you will, on it. But we have seen the depth of this bench, come through time and time again. And while you can say factually on the one side that Columbus in their last 2 starts, has given up 4 goals and earned just 1 point, but they are on pace to surpass the 60-point mark, which is as good as anybody in the history of the league.
And they'll take it, regardless, like you said.
It's a long season. It's a marathon.
It's a very long marathon.
Chad Marshall, Crew fans glad to have him in the center of the Columbus defense, but I just have this nagging feeling the ball is off the mark. Bruner can't get there, throw incoming Colorado, but I look at the U.S. World Cup team and think, how could there not be a place for Chad Marshall when you look at guys like Gooch and Bocanegra who are dealing with their own injury issues? You saw what happened to England's captain.
It baffles me, but those are the decisions that are tough for any coach. But Chad Marshall has done very, very well for himself in his whole career through MLS, and I felt like he should have been rewarded.
Attacking Colorado, U.S. Took on Australia in their last official friendly earlier today. A good day for one former Crew player as part of the national side. Edson Buttle tallied twice. Marvell Wynn plied his trade north of the border in Toronto. Of course, Edmonton comes in next year to be followed thereafter by Montreal. Turnover at midfield. Steven Lennart looking for some Support from the man in the middle, but doesn't find it. And on the left side, Colorado pressing forward. Back out towards the mid-third. And in transition opportunity for Columbus, Guillermo. Going to miss out a little bit too hard for Robbie Rogers, a little bit too soft for Steven Leonard.
To get back to the depth that you were talking about, that's one of the great things to have. You know, there's some teams in the league who don't have that. Look in the Eastern Conference, look below Columbus in the bottom three, and they don't have that depth. To be able to go out to San Jose to play there and then to come back here and have guys that are rested, interchangeable parts, it all worked pretty well.
Wearing the captain's armband, another former U.S. national teamer, Pablo Mastroeni. 7th minute scoreless. Back near the halfway line, Brian Carroll. Good entry ball from Padula. Unable to control that one, though, Steven Leonard. In transition. Back out near midfield to help is Connor Casey. That'll make the Crew back line feel pretty good. Cleverly done there. Good patience by Columbus defensively. Got organized, and Brian Carroll just kind of got in the way, and it worked out. Crew back to Columbus tomorrow. They'll take a little bit of time off and not back on the field MLS-wise until the 26th, last weekend of the month. DC United comes to town, 7:30 kick. Crew.com or 614-447-CREW. The avenues to secure your ducats to see dreaded DC United. Boy, you talk about depth of bench, Dante. You're right on the mark. You look at that roster right now for DC United, and it's a big, who are these guys?
I looked at it earlier, and I literally could not recognize many of the names. It was just a handful.
You had your eyes open.
Halfway.
All right, fair enough. Carroll, flighted ball left side. Game effort there. You can get the pass into space for Robbie Rogers. You know he's going to be able to do something with it. There's Kevin Stott. Left side to midfield. Unforced turnovers continue. Moffitt bumped to the floor. It's back up. Bellucci. Not hard to pick him out. The locks are flowing.
Some interesting hairdos on the field today.
Some interesting hairdos in the broadcast booth.
More stylish.
Cool. Super cool. Some might say triple cool. I don't know who those some are, but I thought I heard somebody say that. You know, folks forget, Dante, that even though Columbus won their second consecutive Supporters Shield in 2009, good ball in there, mishandled perhaps. I'm not sure that William Hesmer got quite the clearing touch on that ball that he wanted, but over the course of 90 minutes, you're going to need a break or two to go your way. That one did for Columbus. Lorenowitz out to the far side. Up, ball whipped in. Positioned perfectly there with a good high clearance. Chad Marshall. Guillermo trying to keep it in play towards Brian Carroll, but it'll be a throw in Colorado. Let's take another look, Dante.
Another dangerous opportunity when Omar Cummings is near the ball. Whipping things in from out wide right. Will Hesmer doing an okay job of getting it out, but you'd like to see him punch that a little bit further out wide.
You can see on that replay that he was all at once trying to punch the ball and not run into the back of a teammate. We finished the prior thought. Supporters Shield won second consecutive season in 2009, but it wasn't until the end of July, the 25th, that the Crew actually got to the top of the Eastern Conference. So they're way ahead of that pace. Padula targeted ball for Guillermo. Moffitt links. Gavin comes back. Bruner will push up the touchline. Reasonable expectation that Haydick and O'Rourke will be fit and available for Coach Varzia's choice come DC United on the 26th?
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say.
Rogers. Look at all the numbers behind the ball. Boy, we got a good look at team defending in the LA Galaxy. We were in town just 1 week ago. Seeing a similar posture from Colorado tonight. They don't give up many goals, the Galaxy, but 9 minutes into tonight's match, they were level at 1. They have a 2-1 advantage. New York in the second half, a 1-goal lead, trying to keep pace, not only with Columbus, but of course, Red Bull was passed by Toronto. The Reds at home blanked today. A scoreless draw, in fact, so they get the singled in there. Kansas City continues to look for points someplace. Bellucci in at Rogers. Gavin, Scalotto. Gruda there, providing some support. Not a good pass, unforced turnover, though it's immediately knocked right back in to the crowded area. Colorado will maintain possession. They're going to have to go all the way back to the top of the back third. And Marvo went the great pace on the right. Cummings. It's Lorenowitz. Really looking to attack wide, Dante. Colorado is yet to go down Highway 1. That's the first look at it. It's a drive from some distance by Lorenowitz, which ricochets into a throw-in. The big red-headed lad. One of those, perhaps in many respects, a Brian Carroll type player. Not necessarily in style, but in significance to his team. Just goes about his thing.
He goes about his thing, and he does it very, very well.
Consistently.
Yeah, exactly. He did that with New England. I think it was a good pickup that Colorado made, enabling to get Jeff Lorenowitz. He's one of those players you know what you're going to get. He's not going to have those really high highs or those really low lows. Just a standard guy who goes out there and gets the job done.
Special fan rate is available, folks, at the Hyatt on Capitol Square. It's the official hotel of the Columbus Crew. You can get a deluxe AAA 4-diamond guest room by visiting capitolsquare.hyatt.com. Type in MLSFAN in the special offer code box, or call them 614-228-1234 and make your reservations today. Well, as you predicted at the outset, Dante, we're nearing the quarter hour of this contest, and neither team is exactly sprinting up and down the Dick's Sporting Goods field. And certainly for the Crew, third game in 8 days, they'll take what's available to them. They'll pick their spots over 90 minutes. Historically, Colorado is still one of a couple of teams in MLS that have an advantage head-to-head all time. Going into the old Mile High Stadium was a place where teams went to die. In the box, Guillermo, nifty touch, oh, a good, quick, right-footed attempt by Steven Lennart. Well done on his part, but equally well done by that Colorado defense.
They had 8 guys in the picture. I have no idea how the Crew were able to get that shot off. You get another look at it. Ball comes off of Steven Lennart's back. Cheeky little back heel. Lennart gets the shot off, but blocked.
Pressure continues. Carroll and Moffitt getting one another's way. Omar Cummings, not this time. No intent, but the foot certainly up a bit there, Dante. A little stud across the inside of the knee. It's an owie. It's a boo-boo.
Yeah, it'll hurt.
Going to leave his mark. Much in the same way your pet schnauzer does when you walk in it. Attack continues. Andy Iro in by Padula. And on out the side door, though not for a lack of effort what Bellucci started. Clark tried to get in and finish.
You're getting to see how Colorado is using Cummings out wide. He gets the ball out wide and puts it back across. When they're defending, they come back with everyone and leave Connor Casey up pretty much all alone. But then on offensively, they try to get Colin Clark into the space and definitely are looking to get Omar Cummings running at people.
Trying to generate some space by using pace out wide. That's been their modus operandi. It's one of my favorite all-time phrases that most people are like, what did he just say? LA now up 3-1. It's getting late. Red Bull closing in on a 3-point win. Gavin with the cross. Again, numbers positioned well by Colorado. Connor Casey all the way back in the defensive half of the park to help. Columbus will recycle things. Consider the size of the Crew back line in this particular alignment. Obviously, none of these guys bring to the table what Frankie Haydick does or the way Danny O'Rourke plays, certainly, but they've got 3 trees, and with that hair, Padula can get up there. Mehdi Bellucci. A lot expected of that young man. He still may reach it. Certainly you think about all the pressure that was placed on Eddie Gavin the last couple of years. He has clearly shown himself to be a consummate professional. And the other side of that coin is perhaps Freddie Adu, who left MLS and went to Europe and has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. If you think back to 8 years ago, 2010, the way it was supposed to be was Freddie was the man to lead the World Cup team here in the United States to the promised land.
Well, and that's a difficult thing when you're coming in as a young player and there's so much.
At 15, you mean?
15, 14, whatever.
Depending on what year you start counting.
Well, and even Eddie Gavin coming in at 16, it's tough, especially as an attacking player, as a creative player. Everyone is expecting so much, and I think this is one of the deficiencies in American soccer is we always want each player to have everything. He's got to be great defensively. He's got to be great offensively. He's got to be technically great. He's got to be able to head the ball. He's got to do everything. But there are players who you want them to be really, really special at that one thing, like a Valderrama or Echeverri or Peter Novak. Guys were creative. You have somebody behind them to take care of all the dirty work. Look at Carl Martino. He's a perfect example, creative player.
Scalotto with the early service. Leonard making the run, but this one's going to roll harmlessly wide. Minute 19, slow moving and largely uneventful first half it's been. Nonetheless, action in MLS is available to you all season long via the Direct Kick package. Call any of those numbers on your screen or go to the official website of MLS. That's MLSsoccer.com, and you can pass along all the information that you have to get the package into your system. Connor Casey. It's a good redirect to Bellucci. 2v2 on the right side, but Padula, the veteran, equal to the challenge. Throw in coming, Marvell Wynn. He can chuck it a bit. Nice ponytail.
That was done with one step. Got the ball away to that near post.
Yeah, he can.
One step, and that field is not narrow.
Like out in Los Angeles, Carson specifically, the Home Depot Center, Crew Stadium, you can get some more width out of it too. This guy's brought a different dimension to Colorado. He's taking some time to, I don't know if saying weed out is exactly proper, but to find his kinds of guys.
Yeah, I think it's a mix between finding his type of guys, but then also getting a lot out of the guys that are there. Mehdi Bellucci, who, as you said, had a lot of expectations placed on him. Didn't work out for him at Salt Lake, but it's doing better here.
Well, as we've come to accept on so many occasions, when the Crew play in Colorado, they tend to spend more time defending than attacking, but in recent years, Despite all the defensive focus, Dante, there's been a lot of goals scored between these two teams.
May have happened, but not this year. In 19 games between both teams up to this point, only 17 goals have been allowed.
It's kind of feast or famine, isn't it? They go through a period of time where there's multiple goals, and then you'll see that 0-0 or 1-0 streak.
And that speaks to the Colorado being second and Columbus being third in goals allowed in the league. Of course, in another stratosphere is the Galaxy.
Nice.
Well, I guess 3 goals now.
It's Connor Casey on the move again. Marvell Wynn, for all intents and purposes, playing right mid. Medi Bellucci. Casey. Marshall from Bruner. Guillermo continuing to drift from touchline to touchline, finds the holes, the soft spots, and then has the presence and composure to realize in that case he was just inside the touchline and just played the ball off the nearest Colorado defender for a crew throw-in. Brian Carroll with Connor Casey, good touch there. See if they can switch the point of attack. Iro. Gino. Chicago up on Philadelphia. To this stage, been a very quiet expansion season for them.
That's tough. We know it's tough to come in as an expansion team, but teams as of late have had more success, but they are just not, things just aren't working out. Like that pass right there.
Game was 1-1 in the 9th minute. Now on, now on the hour, LA's up on Houston 4-1. And they don't have Buttle, Beckham, or Donovan. Better possession right now from Columbus. Kept alive. Tough when you're running at speed toward the byline to be able to bring that ball back across at the will, but not sure the body is going to be too willing to make that kind of turn. Gumby could do it, no problem. Gumby rules. Connor Casey in the channel. Double team now. He splits the pair, gets to the byline. Ball slips right inside the 6, still not out of harm's way. Well, it got exciting there briefly. Jovan Karowski has hit 2 for LA. Tristan Bowen got one. Alex too. Again, it's Colorado. .30 yards out. Entry ball, flag is up. That one was not difficult for the referee to spot. The last attack, Dante.
Connor Casey and crew thinking he may have been offsides, but obviously he's taking on defenders, splitting 2 there. Ball bouncing around, he goes down, and the ball, fortunately for the crew, falls to Adam Moffett, and they're able to clear it wide.
Some real composure there on the part of the big man. Connor Casey working in tight quarters, to say the least. Minute 26. Bruner plays short. almost given away. Final in Gotham. There it is, Red Bull a winner. Add 3 points to their tally. Looks like perhaps they're starting to reestablish themselves. Got off to the great beginning, then plateaued a bit. Columbus, very consistent, moved on past, but the last couple of outings now, New York's begun to put some goals on the board and points together. Flighted in, Iro. Don't expect you can honestly anticipate lots of goals when both teams are basically playing with one forward. Towards the end line, cross is blocked. Pablo Mastroeni found himself in the corner. You don't see him there that often.
A lot of time on the ball to bring it down, almost go out of bounds, and gets off a good service that fortunately Andy Iro was able to step in front of.
That was nicely done there. Once he got a hold of the ball, but apparently he had all the time he needed. Gavitt, who started on Wednesday in the middle. Brian Carroll and Adam Moffat, for the most part, are going to stay central anyway. And Eddie and Robbie Rogers historically have, on occasion, flip-flop flanks. Presents a bit of a different matchup. And you think of Marvell Wynn with good speed on one side, going up against Robbie Rogers. Now they got a different type of look. Leonard posted up, got hit once, and then pushed. Baudet doesn't like it too much, but it'll be a free kick to Columbus.
This is pretty much Baudet's game. He's a physical Frenchman. Got the leg in pretty high. Steven Leonard doing a good job of getting himself in between the ball and the defender, but the defender tried to go through him to get to the ball.
Casper could do that. But that's about it.
He's not French. Dangerous opportunity here.
He beat Caspe. Scalotto. That's a good ball! In the end, though, a bit high nonetheless. It looked initially like a real opportunity, and Chad Marshall realized it as well, nearing the half-hour mark of this one. After tonight, the Crew on a break, but don't forget when they return to the road, the best place to be is the Claddagh Irish Pub in the Brewery District. Catch each and every road game throughout the 2010 campaign. Get there early, grab a good seat. Claddagh Irish Pub in the Brewery District is your official away game headquarters for the Columbus Crew.
When you have these tight defensive games like this, baseball fans would say a pitcher's duel, restarts become very, very important, because then that's your opportunity, and that's quite frankly where the Crew have been very good, and especially as of late, to make the difference in the game.
Bruder handled that opportunity smoothly. Andy Iro. So with New York winning and Toronto playing to a scoreless draw today, Red Bull and TFC just kind of switching their ladder thing. DC United and Salt Lake have gone final scoreless. Opportunity, not a very good ball, but maybe on the backside. It was almost as if the Crew defensively breathed a collective sigh of relief. Uh-oh. Immediately thereafter. So a couple of 0-0 finals today. KC in Toronto, Salt Lake at DC. LA up on Houston 4-1. At the half, scoreless. Dallas, San Jose, 1-0. Chicago at the interval leads Philadelphia. 2v2 situation at the box.
Don't want to see that. Eric Bruner doing a good job to recover and help out goalkeeper William Hesmer.
Late game, by the way, has Seattle dropping down the coast. I should rephrase that as New England going from one coast to the other. Seattle is home. Robbie Rogers. A little confusion there inside the Colorado penalty area. Drew Moore trying to be the peacemaker. Appears that Pickens isn't getting Baudet to respond in the way he wants him to. It's not terribly professional on anyone's part, Dante, just to continue like that in the middle of the park.
No, there's a game to be played.
Not to mention the fact that even though the ball was targeted at Steven Leonard, he was the only one in there in the bright yellow. The rest of the box was filled with hometown folk. Bit of pace on the left side. It's very nice defending, though, isn't it?
Way to stand him up. A little bit of a handball probably on both sides, but nothing intentional. Good job by Bruner not biting, and Earl's probably just also letting the ball get away from himself.
Needs to change his shoes at halftime, I think. Slipping quite a bit.
Seen a bit of that slipping. That turf is usually pretty close cut, especially with the watering of the fields right before the game starts. It's going to contribute to the to slick conditions. Difficult to choose which boots to wear.
Moffitt finds a bit of room in the center. His first touch, though, made things much more complicated. Robbie Rogers does well to keep possession as Marvell Wynn closed in.
The way that Colorado plays, it almost looks like they're on the road defensively when they come back. Everyone save Connor Casey.
Gino's knocked to the ground, fouled, whistle blew, and while he was there, an attempted clearance went right into him. Get another look at what's transpired here. Definitely a foul. And then into the tummy from Marvell Wynn. Take a moment for Padula to collect himself. For those with outstanding ability, the Cruise Soccer Academy teams provide the highest exposure and opportunity in the country. Good lead to the Black and Gold's first 11. Log on to thecrew.com to find out more about the Cruise player development model, offering unique programming opportunities for players of all ages and abilities. Guillermo, good ball. Possession back to Colorado. Crew Academy teams staging tryout/evaluation sessions this past week at the training complex in Obetz. Foul was called here in the box. A little pushing, shoving, didn't seem to be a whole lot in it. But the two Academy teams, Dante, with which you're very familiar, U16, U18s, well over 100 players. They don't leave a lot of empty space there at the Crew Complex in Obetz, which has served the Black and Gold so well for so long. But as the organization grows and the league develops, so too do the needs of the teams. And team president Mark McCullers keen on that. Good organization by Columbus. Still Colorado with the left, struck well. Sighted from the start by William Hesmer. Minute 36.
Cummings standing up Moffitt there, just cutting in really quickly. He's got those quick feet. Does a good job of getting that shot off.
Yeah, you're asking a lot of Adam Moffitt to be able to keep up with a first step like that off of Omar Cummings.
Well, and one of the things you also want, you have that Padula behind you. At least if Padula can tell him one way or the other, communicate, make it a bit easier.
Gavin has options, and he's going to shoot! Pickens full extension right. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Both right-sided midfielders getting an opportunity to come in on their left foot. Eddie Gavin here getting a good shot off, just barely missing that far post.
It's free balloon day.
Red.
Like the home team, sort of. At 37. Hasn't been a lot of attacking excitement in the first half, but the flash here and there has been entertaining, albeit brief. There's gate B, in case you were wondering.
Be right there.
Sunglasses would help out. Beautiful evening, chance of an isolated thunderstorm. The greater Denver Metroplex before the night is out, but for the moment anyway. Actually, when the teams came out to begin their pregame warm-ups, it was predominantly cloudy. Much better now. Kevin Stott is the arbiter of this one. Really hasn't been called upon to do a whole heck of a lot. That's not necessarily good or bad, but it's just fine. Quick feed from Rogers. The lateral movement, though, you see 3 more Colorado players getting in behind the ball. Rogers can turn. Gavin continues on the right. Rogers is going to have a go. Not a bad effort.
Not a bad decision. If they're going to give you the space, may as well try it.
That'd have been a rugby goal. Doing good. You got the collegiate Rugby Sevens taking place this weekend at Crew Stadium. Caught a bit of that on television this afternoon.
Actually saw some of those guys practicing yesterday down on campus.
Tough lads. That is a tough sport.
And they are not small.
No. There's the ball. There it goes. Robbie Rogers. A wishful thinking pass. Casey's first touch fails it. Good read there by Marshall. Stepped up on time and confidently, but just as quickly. It's transition for Colorado, but that one stopped before it really even got started. Early in the season, Dante, the Crew had a couple of open weekends. We talked a lot about how that impacts the player. What about this World Cup break? Are we far enough into the season now that not having an MLS game for a couple of weeks, while may not be the optimum outcome, are teams far enough in the season that they really shouldn't notice much drop-off from that?
Yeah, I'd say they shouldn't. If anything, it's the welcome rest for some of the guys. And I think the biggest difference is that everyone is on the same playing field, level playing field. You have the time off. You can do with it as you want, and it'll be interesting to see what teams do. The Crew are going to take a week off. Other teams may not, or it may, intersperse days on or days off.
Well, there's a little extracurricular on the ground. And we'll see. Kevin Stott saw whatever was happening there between Connor Casey and Adam Moffett. The Crew will play an exhibition game. Adam Moffett shown the yellow. Gonna head down to Dayton. Here's another look. Nothing there. Still nothing there. And that wasn't good. Adam Moffett came in late with the bottom of his shoes showing. Could have been shown red, Dante, or no? What do you think?
I don't think it deserved red. Definitely yellow.
Okay. FC 20 out of Holland, beginning to develop a presence in the U.S. That ball's out just as quickly as it came in. They have the Dayton Dutch Lions PDL club, which has been one of the PDL teams to advance in U.S. Open Cup qualifying. The Crew will play a friendly against that squad at on the campus of the University of Dayton. the players will also be given a little time off. Of course, everybody's excited about the World Cup. All the viewing parties available at Crew Stadium. Plenty going on at Crew Stadium, whether it be the Rugby Sevens this weekend, the World Cup viewing parties, obviously the Columbus Crew. You can be a part of the Crew Soccer Nation. New 5-game ticket packages are available. Call them up, 614-447-CREW for all the information you need to join the Crew Soccer Nation. Get your tickets reserved today. 42nd minute. Colorado looking for a way onto the scoreboard before exiting to their locker room. Quick turn by Cummins. Into the box, still on the move. Colorado looking for something that really wasn't there.
No, they're going to complain, but wasn't even close.
Connor Casey's going to pick up the booking for the verbal, but, you know, Cummins was the guy that went down, and he really didn't have anything at all to say. He just sort of picked himself up.
Well, Cummings did a good job on the turn and fighting off Padula, but nothing in that.
Took a quick look over his shoulder, and you can see the reaction of Connor Casey. Ooh, touched the referee. I don't think he did it on purpose. You can't do that, though. You can't get that close.
You can't demonstrate on the referee.
I don't think Connor Casey had any intention of actually making contact, but certainly Kevin Stott well within his rights. Not well handled at all by Columbus. Can Casey make a pay for it? Not this time. Shot is high. That was sloppy.
Adam Moffat's got to do a better job there in the center of the park. I know it's difficult, and I know you're going to have pressure, but you can't allow yourself to be dispossessed in the center of the field.
You have to figure in the back half of the mid-third, when you receive a ball facing your own goal, there's going to be pressure in from behind.
And obviously part of that falls on your teammates to make sure they're not giving you difficult balls.
Just off the mark for Scalotto. Turn, just couldn't get to that headed ball from Robbie Rogers. Good step up there by Bruner. Gavin turns and moves forward with one touch, holds off two. Inadvertent contact there. Space towards midfield. That's nicely done by Colorado. Bellucci brings in Marvell Wynn. Entire Crew back line and a couple of midfielders now in. Make that three. Moffat in the middle. Carroll steps out to the ball. Robbie Rogers is back right now, and what effectively could be as a fifth defender on the left. Looking for some room. Above the D. Into the box. There's a lot of patience for that ball. A big up and out there, which Leonard will chase down. Minute 45. Do not anticipate much time being added. There may be a 60-second addition, but I can't imagine more than that. Eddie Gavin just quietly goes about his thing. Moffat a floater. Leonard called for the foul. Got in aggressively that time.
Surprise.
Earls making sure he's all right. Excuse me, Drew Moore. Yeah, Stephen Leonard frustrates a lot of players, Dante, but we've been watching him regularly for a couple of seasons now, and while every once in a while a player here or there, it's your stoppage time, is going to lose their composure, by and large, Stephen Leonard is physical but not dirty. Is that a fair assessment from what you've seen?
Well, definitely. He's not a dirty player at all. He's very physical. He's very annoying. Difficult as a defender. For a defender to try and mark. But it's quite effective.
You know, he does what he does. And it's tough. We've talked about some opportunities that what appeared to be a glaring mistake on his part in the LA game. And it certainly was a mistake. But on the other side of the coin, he did all the work to get in that position.
Right.
So you're forcing Coach Barzia and his staff, well, you know, you get a certain amount of opportunities, but some of those come because of the way he plays. Mehdi Bellucci. At the death of the opening half. We'll see how much longer Kevin Stott allows this one to go. Past the minute. Cummins cut off by Padula. Still Colorado in possession and on the attack. Kevin Stott allows it to play. Ball whipped in, headed up. Again, it's Colorado. Still time rolls on. And that'll do it. Connor Casey, Omar Cummins, not a lot of opportunities, but a couple of pretty good ones. But in the end, 45 minutes of a clean sheet for that guy. Value City Furniture halftime reports coming up. It'll include an ONN update and particularly a look at some of the severe weather across the Buckeye State. So do please stay tuned for that. We'll follow it with a look back at the opening 45 and have the second half kickoff as we continue. This is Columbus Crew Soccer on a Saturday night, ONN. And we are back in Commerce City, Colorado, just outside of downtown Denver, home of Dick's Sporting Goods Park, and site of tonight's Soccer Saturday matchup on ONN. 45 minutes plus stoppage time into this one. Right where they started on the scoreboard, scoreless. Glad to be able to get you all the latest information around the Buckeye State here on ONN. It's been a busy week for the weather folk, and it's not quite over yet, but certainly when you get to severe storms, tornado issues, obviously those are the most important things, and we will continue to keep you updated as necessary. At the kickoff of the second half, no substitutions noticeable initially, but we'll double check that for you. Chad Marshall on the ball. Eric Bruner starting tonight at right back. Not a particularly good pass there. Stephen Lenhart, as always, active. Good to have you with us with Dante Washington, Dwight Burgess. Ohio Health in part bringing you Columbus Crew Soccer here on ONN. The Crew in their traditional gold uniforms, top to bottom, the home side. With the dark red and white combination. Closing in, Dante, everybody's excited about it. Closing in on the start of FIFA World Cup 2010. The U.S. a winner over Australia today, 3-1. South Africa getting ready. They beat Denmark. Holland all over Hungary. 6-1 was the final there. Oof. Ow. Serbia and Cameroon put on a show. 7 goals between, with Serbia winning 4-3. And action will begin on Friday. Of course, a Major League Soccer broadcast partner of ONN. Family of networks, ESPN and Daddy ABC have got a staff of over 300 in South Africa. So some new television technology that's never before been used. In fact, at least one piece of technology that's bringing excitement apparently to everyone that isn't even fully developed yet. They got to get it working before Friday.
Oh boy.
So they should call James Cameron. Guy's got some free time. He isn't due to do another movie for about 10 years. And that'll make $1 billion, literally.
That's all that matters.
48th minute, put your head inside the locker room. Columbus, a couple of breakdowns. We thought most of them came off of unforced turnovers. Nonetheless, Colorado's at home, and you're going to expect them to force the issue. Plenty of options on the bench, although none of the guys, as of yet, have begun to warm up for the second half. So if you're in the Rapid locker room, anything of significance that you would change, or is it more the same in the second half?
Well, for the Rapids, they're just sitting back and probably going to try and score off of a counter. The difference we talked about earlier, it's going to be on set pieces for the Crew. When you have Bruner, Iro, and of course Marshall in the lineup, and Schelotto on the ball, makes things a lot easier.
Cummins. Goins is the ball.
Just a bit outside.
Busy day in Major League Soccer. It began this afternoon, as is customary when Toronto's at home. 90 minutes and bullseyes on the board. So a point there to the Reds, a point to KC. New York, another win. This one at home against Chivas. So they pick up the 3, trying to keep pace with the Eastern Conference leading Crew. Yet another scoreless draw. Pressure there from Steven Lennart. Good pressure it was. L.A. Gorowski with the 2 spot. 4-1 over Houston. It's a struggling South Texas team right now. Chicago got on the board early, looking to make that 1-0 scoreline stand up for the duration. Dallas with a couple of goals at Pizza Hut Park. New England and Seattle come up 10:30 Eastern time. They'll kick off before this one is over. Let's look at the Crew bench. Mike Lapper, Ricardo Iribarren, Vadim Kirlov, technical director Brian Bliss. Sergio sitting at the end of the bench.
Not making the 18 tonight, apparently.
Leonard got a little handsy there. Lorenowitz didn't change his shoes.
And they did water the field at halftime.
Bruner. Not sure about the communication. He may have been able to let that ball go for a goal kick. Clearly wasn't sure and wasn't hearing anything to direct him otherwise. Earls gets it back, the ball that is, from Bellucci. Played though to Gavin. finds his way out of jail, though briefly, as the ball's given right back, and a stinger for both Omar Cummings and Annie Iro. Left footer's blocked. Corner kick coming to Colorado. Bruner at the right back slot tonight. Iro alongside Chad Marshall. Gino Padula on the left. Moffitt and Carroll patrolling the center of the park with Rogers and Gavin wide. Scalotto in underneath Steven Lennart. Smetty Bellucci. Minute 52. Trying to give something for the hometown fans to cheer about. Ball is still in the box. Bellucci pump fakes, cuts to the right to Lorenowitz. Off the back of Robbie Rogers. Ball dropped, shot taken, and well handled by William Hesmer in the end. Pablo Mastroeni.
Hesmer very upset with the AR on the far side, looking for their offside call.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Checking on an injured Crew player. Jed Zahner's going to enter right away. And Derek Bruner, I think, may have taken a shot there, Dante, on the coming off that corner kick. Looked like he got tagged a bit.
Yeah, and I hope it's not a recurrence of the symptoms he had earlier, the concussion they had it earlier in the season.
Minute 53. Too tall for Guillermo. All the way back to William Hesmer. Colorado seems rather disinterested in what the Crew keeper does. It's all right. This thing's going to go a long way in the thin air. And it did. Posted up Steven Lennart, but not able to control that one. Third game in 8 days for Columbus. Back-to-back on the road. They return home to Crew Stadium, but not for 3 weeks. June 26th, 7:30 start. DC United's in town. Get there by going online to crew.com or calling the Black and Gold at 614-447-CREW. It's Robbie Rogers. Ryan Carroll badly mishits that ball. Out of the back, Colorado will play. Clark is there. Moore is there. Mastroeni in. Completes the triangle. And then to the far flank. Moffitt booked in the first half. Casey received a yellow as well. Two-man wall. Otherwise, Columbus holding their line basically at the top of the box. Floater backside. Wasted opportunity.
See Colorado with 2 men on the ball, one with the left foot, Clark, and then Mehdi Bellucci with the right-footed option. It makes William Hesmer have to make a decision, keeps him honest one way or the other.
Looked like, from my perspective anyway, that Gavin might have been fouled there, but I guess not. Smoothly done there by Steven Leonard. Padula steps up but can't complete his pass. Andy Iro rotates. See the spot vacant. Room normally occupied by Robert Varzia. Daughter graduating from high school earlier today, as we mentioned. Nice soccer player in her own right.
Yeah.
Family of soccer players. One would expect nothing less. Bit of pressure there. Padula forced to pass that ball, I think, before he was ready, perhaps anticipating more than that was actually there. Ball to Colorado. It's a good close-up look at Mr. Clark. Have an opportunity to get up close and personal as well at Columbus Crew Stadium. Get on the best seats in the house at your local Value City Furniture store and register to win. Tickets are available for each and every home game throughout the current campaign. Whistle in from behind the play. And the yellow card is shown.
Don't think there's much question of that.
If there was any question.
Baudet trying to make up for his technical error and draws a yellow card for the foul on Schelotto.
So Baudet picks up the yellow card. Closer to midfield than the top of the box. The ball sent in. Andy Iro actually unsighted. The ball ricocheted off his legs, but it's largely irrelevant. And there's the recipient of the latest yellow card. He feels a bit differently about the referee's decision. Nearing the hour. Big bounce there.
That's where that wet field worked to Colorado's disadvantage.
A little dicey there, but William Hesmer able to tend to the issues. Earls.
Both teams looking a little sloppy here starting out this first 15 minutes of the second half.
Well, each side consistently putting significant numbers behind the ball and just doesn't permit the opposition to really find any sort of rhythm. Casey working hard. And then perhaps the lightest touch of all of them is the one that squirts the ball away. Robbie Rogers. Leonard gives chase. Gonna take it down. Thought we might get a redirected header back to Pickens. Well done.
Very well done.
The 61st minute. Hesmer's been called upon twice, realistically. Those shots, nothing of a real challenge. Eddie Gavin, good left footer from above the penalty area as he cut toward the D from right to left. Bet the ball wide. Pickens was out full extension. May have had it covered. Marvell Wynn. Connor Casey posts up against Iro, and he's playing with a yellow.
William Hesmer needs to be careful. But I can definitely understand where he's going with this. Foot was up. I know he's sitting on a yellow card, but for me that is a yellow.
You don't have the right to adjust the call based upon the previous encounter. And obviously Kevin Stott, who was right there, saw it a bit differently, as always. Did not have the benefit that we did of watching a slow motion replay, but I agree, Dante was quite clear that the foot was up and it was dangerous.
And I understand referees not wanting to put their imprint, their stamp on the game, but you have to make the calls like those that were seen pretty obvious, as you said. But we had the instant replay, but he was right there. And it seemed like it was warranted for another yellow card.
A couple of things at play there, aren't there, Dante? First of all, in the first half, when Adam Moffett fouled Casey, he was shown the yellow. So now Columbus is looking for the return. And then on the other side of the coin, you got the home team involved. You know, their top offensive player, certainly in the minds of many fans. Although most of his goals are coming from the spot. Speed wasted in the end. Gino Padula tried, but he just couldn't stay with the pace. And that's one of those that the Lord decided at birth. How about that? Rogers, he's got Leonard. He's got help to the right. He's going to play Gavin. He's going to shoot straight at the keeper. Well, that attack deserved better than its ending.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to get that ball to the far post with the defenders all collapsing over.
Deflected ball, Leonard. Working hard, Steven Leonard. Word coming up from the Colorado bench.
It's all started with the cheekiness of Schelotto and Robbie Rogers doing a good job fighting off the defenders. And as I said, it's hard to get that ball to the far post. Seems like, yeah, easily he should have gotten it there, but when you have those defenders coming across, it's hard. But he probably also didn't hit it the way that he would have liked.
Frankly, Dante, I thought the pass was too late. Had it come a couple of steps early, Eddie might have been able to make an adjustment. Here's the substitution I began to discuss. They're going to get Casey out of there. He's sitting on a yellow already. And I think the bench realizes that he could have seen a second yellow. So they're going to put in Thompson, a completely different type of player than Connor Casey. A little momentum maybe for Columbus. Searching ball finds the signboards, and they're off the field. That means possession back to Colorado, minute 66.
What will be interesting here for Colorado is to see who slides into that central forward position that Casey occupied. Casey more the big target type forward. Thompson definitely not that. Cummings definitely not that. And also Clark. So those three players actually can be more interchangeable than having someone that plays that true target role.
Major League Soccer has a brand new website, MLSsoccer.com. Keep up to date with all the breaking news surrounding the league, scores, stats, features, amazing video. It's all there at MLSsoccer.com, your home for everything MLS. Minute 67, Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, just outside downtown Denver, Colorado. The Crew working through their third match in 8 days. They played 3-9 2 weeks back. On that occasion, they began with a home win, won 2 road games. But the first 2 games of this week, a loss to LA at Crew Stadium, and then a 2-2 draw at San Jose midweek. But I gotta tell you, third game in 8 days, and even at altitude, Dante, I have yet to see anything that I think would indicate to me the altitude's having a factor against the Columbus Crew.
No, not at all. The team is very fit. They look every much as into this game as Colorado. Not like Colorado's showing that they have that home field advantage due to the altitude.
Well, they're playing a style that isn't always going to excite the fans, but if it brings them wins, when playoff time comes around, the fans will be there. Rogers wide open, and Guillermo plays it. Backside, open, headers out towards the goal, but cleared away. Bidet, I believe, was the nearest Colorado defender. Good ball by Robbie Rogers. And a decent look for Chad Marshall. There's Padula. Carroll to the left, working with Chino. He'll come back this way. It's Jed Zahner, came in for Eric Bruner, who left quickly with what appeared to be an injury. Walked off the field under his own power, so it's hard to say exactly what was going on there, but clearly he didn't feel right. Mehdi Bellucci thought had a positive impact on the first half, but at least to this stage of the second, Dante, I haven't noticed him nearly as involved. Guillermo trying to make something out of nothing. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box for Colorado, and Schelotto at a very, very difficult angle. Young lady kind enough to return the ball. There's Steven Lennart.
There's those nights where as a forward you're not going to get many opportunities, and it's a frustrating type of night for an attacking player when the opposing team pretty much doesn't come out and play. They just sit back and defend, as we said, with that lone forward up top defensively. You're not going to get many opportunities.
That's the style that you might have expected Columbus to play tonight. Third game in 8 days on the road at altitude. But as we've said several times, this is a tactic that has been successful for Colorado. Bellucci. Mastroeni. Moffett read that passing lane well. Trying to make something happen on the left. Dispossessed is Eddie Gavin. Whoops.
What Colorado is able to do offensively, bringing the ball up out of the back, is they can cheat either the left back Earls or the right back Wen up high. There we had a chance to see when trying to get up the line, but the pass wasn't good enough.
Colorado bringing some numbers forward. Ball into the 6, but the flag was up.
Then what I'd like to see if he does, if it's Wynn or Earls do come up offensively and there's a giveaway, it's a prime time for the Crew to attack and counterattack in that space where he just left. Wynn is a fast player, but I don't think he'd be that fast, especially if you have Robbie Rogers or if it's a Renteria who comes on later in the half. It's not going to catch him. But it's got to be more decisive in realizing that he's out of position to get that penetrating ball into the corner.
Gavin working hard. Leonard stayed with that pass. Gino Padula. Ball in a bit low. Colorado preparing its second substitution. Get a look. Still 2 moves available to Columbus. Four yellow shirts in the attacking half defensively. 73rd minute. Another final. Chicago knocks off Philadelphia 2-1. Eastern Conference teams picking up points all over the place today. One each, Toronto and KC. DC United got a point. New York and Chicago get the full 3. New England kicks off sooner than later. Opportunity for the Crew. Backside. Oh, Leonard did it on purpose. And Guillermo. How often are you going to see that happen? Clearly the best opportunity of the night. Maybe the only great opportunity of the night, though Crew fans hope differently. What a nice attack.
This was done off of a giveaway by Pablo Mastroianni. Good job by Steven Linhart, knowing that Schelotto is right behind him, but you're not going to see that happen very often. Getting into that offensive third quickly was Gavin. Nice little flick. Schelotto wants to get that in the air. Good job defensively by the player. I think that was Baudet making the effort to slide down, forcing the shot high.
There's confirmation of the move we alluded to. Smith replaces Belushi. It certainly appeared with the shape of his body that Guillermo, recognizing Pickens was coming out high at the near post, looking for that bender to side netting. Gavin, it's a nifty move. Still going. Chips for Leonard, well defended. That's good stuff from Eddie Gavin.
Very well done.
In the deep into the second half of the third game in 8 days at altitude. Don't want to overplay it, but it's true. They may not have a tougher stretch all season long than these 3 games in 8 days. A red-hot LA team came in. Colorado, nifty little ball work themselves. Still alive! Denied by the post. Bodies everywhere.
Both teams showing a little bit more offensively. Good little look there by Smith. Wells Thompson trying to cut it back to Cummings. Cummings gets the shot off. As you see there, nice little ball in behind the Crew defense.
That was beautifully done by Thompson.
But as the saying goes, the keeper's best friend helped him out.
Palguda in for Baudet. Picked up a yellow. A rather demonstrative exchange with his teammate in goal during the first half. Colorado trying to muster something on the right side. Space opens up the middle. Mastroeni has it. He's fouled by Lennart. A little extra there from Steven Lennart. And he's gone. Straight red.
From Mastroeni.
Well, then he came back to the yellow. So did he?
Mastroeni with the red. Retaliation. Lennart with the yellow.
Yeah, I thought Steven Lennart had gotten the red as well, but clearly he's pointing off the field to Mastroeni. And Pablo Mastroeni clearly upset by this decision. Kevin Stott staying composed. And a bunch of Colorado players trying to keep Pablo Mastroeni making this even worse. All right, let's take a look. There's the foul by Lennart. There's the yellow. And clearly Mastroeni thought the red was to Lennart, as did I. And, boy, this isn't a red card, Don. I mean, that's not good, but come on, that's a red card?
That's a bit excessive.
I guess he's resting his decision on intent.
Yeah. In terms of man management, the way that the game has been going, it's not like there has been any malicious tackles or too many terribly malicious tackles. The only one I can even think of would be Connor Casey's, but there wasn't any malintent. This is dramatically going to change the game. Pablo Mastroeni is a huge part of this Rapids team, not just as a player. We all know he's a great player, but also he's the soul of this team.
So Colorado is going to play one short for the final 15 minutes or so, depending on what sort of time may be added. While we may not be able to quite understand the decision, you can't argue with the fact that as he's been all evening long, Dante, Kevin Stott was right there.
Yeah, he was.
And there was no hesitation.
None.
There may be some disagreement about whether or not what Pablo Mastroeni did deserved a straight red, but he was clear in his mind that it was the two hands into Lennart's legs, and just a brief moment of lost composure by Mastroeni. On goes the game in the 80th minute.
Well, and it looks like Emmanuel Ekpo is going to come into the game. And if you're Columbus, this is the door. The door just opened. The decision is, what do you do? And I think this is going to be a good move. Bringing on an attacking player, bringing on someone who's fresh, especially like Ekpo with that speed.
Going to be a real change with Ekpo coming in fresh legs, replacing Adam Moffett.
Slide Eddie Gavin into the middle. Brian Carroll will sit in behind Eddie Gavin, and Ekpo will be out on the right.
Andy Iro sends the ball the other direction. Lennart. Pickens out. Well, that one just found friendly feet. There's Ekpo, as Dante correctly told you, positioned on the touchline. And nicely done defensively by Lorenowitz. Marshall away. Speaking of away, when the Crew are on the road, don't forget, head out to the official away game headquarters. It's Claddagh Irish Pub in the Brewery District. Get there early, grab a good seat, follow the Crew when on the road all season long at Claddagh Irish Pub in the Brewery District, your official away game headquarters of your Columbus Crew. Interesting ball here. Robbie Rogers. Little indecision. Disappointing end there. Chad Marshall as Iro to his left. Instead goes back to Hesmer.
That's a wasted opportunity. Anytime you get yourself dangerously in those positions inside the box, you got to do better with that. They may get more opportunities now that Rapids are down a man.
Well, all of their substitutions have been used, so not able to make a tactical change with a player, perhaps another midfielder, maybe another defender. Going to have to play out this one. Crew have one change left. The first move was early in the second half. Eric Bruner had to leave for injury, and Jed Zahner took his spot. Ekpo's in, so still a move available. There's Jed Zahner. A little too slow for your liking, Dante?
Yeah, I see Brian Carroll there right in the middle of the field. Jed Zahner seems like he can take 1, 2, maybe 3 touches and get it into him.
Ekpo's going to draw a crowd. Not that he cares. Guillermo playing Ekpo, who goes to the ground. Right now, Colorado players and fans feeling, Dante, like it's the pile-ups happening against them. But come on, how do you even argue that? He was gone, you reached out and you grabbed him. That should have been a yellow card.
And he's still talking.
Mr. Stott has certainly kept his composure, hasn't he?
And he has.
He's been up and down the field. He's been in the right positions. He's been decisive. He has not been, from the best we could tell on the broadcast booth, confrontational. Schelotto. Iro.
I tell you, you see Andy Iro getting his head on balls a lot, but not a lot of times you see him actually get it on goal. If he's able to learn that part of the game, which Chad Marshall has become obviously very good at, the Crew in the future, obviously if both of these players stay, could present some serious problems for opposing teams.
On that occasion, coming off the back post and try to flick on header, which has no choice but to go wide. The general rule in that kind of situation is head the ball in the direction from where it started. So it came across the face of the goal, so headed back the other way across the face of the goal. But those are the things you work on the training ground. People are pushing and shoving, battling for position. There's only a moment or two for the decision to be made. Restart. Colorado. Opportunity! And a man down. They've scored in the 85th.
Takes one good opportunity, and that's what the Rapids took advantage of here. Jed Zahner allowing his player to go right over his back. That's just poor defending on Zahner's part. You have to at least jump with him. You can't just duck down. Another good look there. Moore just wanted it a lot more than the Crew did, or in this case Zahner. He may have actually been surprised. He kind of standing there like he was surprised that Moore actually got to it. But all credit due, you have to give to Drew Moore. It's a great finish, great effort. Now the crew have brought on some more attacking power to now try to get an equalizer.
Gino Padula in following the Colorado goal, and Gino Padula is out. So we'll see what Renteria can do for Columbus. They pull a defender and add an attacker. Got a man advantage to the crew, and they've put themselves in to dangerous situations 3-4 times here in the second half, but suddenly find themselves on the wrong side of a 1-0 score line. And now within a handful of minutes of losing there for the second time this week. Ball served in, and out it goes.
Still, I won't say plenty of time left, but there's enough time for an equalizer. There'll probably be at least 3 minutes of added time. And you know the Rapids are going to be on their heels, expecting the crew to throw everything at them.
Ball came across, and Colorado throwing out of the back. Columbus pushing their numbers forward. There's Renteria, whips it into the area, deflected away one touch. Good battle there, and a foul after the fact. And Renteria picks up the yellow. First 8 games of the season, Columbus went undefeated and amassed 20 points to move to the top of the East. But that goal right there from Drew Moore could be the difference in Columbus staying unbeaten on the road and adding at least another point to their season's total. World Cup begins on Friday. Best month of soccer on the planet. You can catch it all at Crew Stadium. The World Cup viewing parties are back. Each and every match, all month long. Food, beverage specials as well. There'll be TVs all over the place. And there will be internet access for those who maybe take some time off from work but still need to get some work done. If you haven't been there, shame on you. If you have, well, there's no question you'll be back. Robbie Rogers. He's fouled. So LA beats Columbus 2-0 last weekend, puts up 4 tonight. That's 6 goals in consecutive Saturday games, and their top 3 offensive players aren't there.
You know, I thought they were going to really be hurting, but maybe eat those words.
Heading towards the 90th minute of play. We're there now. Columbus looking to get back into the game. Ball is in. Ball is out. Well, it's an awfully dangerous attacking opportunity and a good service from Schelotto to not even get a shot off. Such is the case. Flighted to the far flank. Guillermo in. Foul on Steven Lennart. 3 extra minutes. There's your goal score. Took a knock from the Crew attacker. Into time added we go. Still time to become part of the 2010 Columbus Crew season. Going to get another look. It's a good move there by Guillermo, and Lennart aggressively after the ball. Certainly not trying to create injury. I think that Drew Moore is going to be okay. You can join the Crew Soccer Nation. You can do it right now, in fact. New 5-game ticket plans are available. Give them a call. They'll give you the laydown. 614-447-CREW. A rather humdrum Saturday night encounter at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Look for all the world to be headlong to a scoreless draw. Would have been the third of the day. But playing with a man down after Mastroeni was sent off. Straight red. Taking advantage of a set piece, which has been the Crew forte in close games since the arrival of Schelotto. Jed Zahner. Gavin, a bit too slow. Rogers. Trying to set up a service. Gavin goes. Bad decision there by Emmanuel Ekpo. A little lack of composure there by Clark, but Ekpo's got to be smarter than that. Clark's going to have to do a lot of work just to keep that ball from going out of bounds. They got a little mouthy after the fact.
It's an easy way to pick up a dumb yellow card.
Yeah. And he got away with the jersey pull in the box. Rather than trying to play a little keep away and run the clock out, Colorado content to just clear it. Ricardo Iribarren up. The stage of the match, you're in stoppage time, down a goal, and you're going to play a 50-yard diagonal ball to the opposite flank. Don't you have to get that thing up near the penalty area?
Yeah. That goes without saying. I
wish I hadn't said it then.
think that, I hope that it was a mishit.
Not a whole lot left in this one. Maybe time for one more Crew attack. They got to get a hold of the ball. What may be the final attack of the night for the Crew? Emmanuel Ekpo. See if the Olympian can work some magic. Into the box, Schelotto. And Leonard moving the opposite direction. And that, in all likelihood, will be that. Pickens getting a bit mouthy. And I imagine Kevin Stott simply waiting for this ball to be kicked. Don't know exactly when this law was added to the book. Just call the game when the time is over. And now it is. Drew Moore with the header. The difference in a Colorado win tonight in Denver. Back to wrap it up shortly. This is Crew Soccer on ONN.